What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Cosmos, episode 47. I'm Dylan, that's Mila, and that's Mr. NGF Andrew. And the Galaxy are 3 points richer, back in a playoff spot, or at least a play-in spot, as they sit ninth, with a goal difference of 0. That means we're back to square one, baby. Welcome back to the start of the season. Who would have thought?
Back in the green, in the black.
12 games in, and we're right back to ninth. That's where we like to be. But yeah, a good win, a comeback win against Atlanta. We'll give a reaction to that. We'll talk about the match and some of the key performances by one Gabriel Peck and another Marco Reus before we C.O.C. road trip on over to Kansas City as we take on Kansas City on Wednesday. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Plug to the 499 of you currently subscribed. Thank you very much. We are on the great cock edge of 2026.
Whoa.
I know. Crazy.
Are we allowed to say that?
I don't know. We're going to get demonetized regardless. Before it all turns bad before the great 500, I decided that I needed to get one more really inappropriate joke.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So subscribe.
0 from us.
You can't take 0 from us. Subscribe, please. We need 500 very badly. Let's move on. I will say that one of the big things that will come with the 500 is a kind of small change to our regularly scheduled program. We'll do something a little different. But once we hit 500, I'll announce that for sure. Anyways.
Just in case we don't get there.
Just in case we get banned after that mock edge joke. Yeah, they're just like, ooh, we can't let them get there. We can't. All right, guys. Well, the reason that this is a happy podcast is we won a game on the road in a place we hadn't won ever. And I don't think we had even scored a goal, which for 70 odd minutes was looking like that exact thing was going to happen. But on the back of a Marco Reus sub and a little magic from Gabriel Peck, Galaxy 2-1 victors over Atlanta. So, Mila, I think it's only fitting whenever I have a Marco Reus segment. I usually throw it to you with this being a weird week where we're going to have 2 pods. We're not going to have segments, but I think you should start the talking point with the guy that ultimately changed the match, which was Sir Marco Reus.
What more is there to say at this point? He's so good, and we need him. I'm gonna start a little. No, you know what? No, I'll just go. What are we questioning at this point to anyone? It's there statistically. It's there for the eye test. Maybe he just works for us. Maybe it's just good. And instead of scapegoating the most accredited guy, not accredited, he hasn't won much, but I guess the guy with the most, the highest CV, let's calm that down a little bit.
I mean, Mila, he's got the same amount of MLS Cups as Messi. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You're right. He is the most accredited. No, but I just think we need to chill on him. Not we, but everyone else that is just ripping into him every week. And I feel like this is the 20th time I've said this on the podcast. But he doesn't deserve it. We are not as good without him. We probably would have went goalless against an Atlanta side that does not have a good defense. They are honestly, they're as bad as us up until the last 3 games, and we still have been conceding goals. So this is just proving a point that he unlocks doors for us. Based off Dylan's 5 things, I think you could say we might need to kick down some doors this season. But when we need someone to be elegant, to up the tempo, like Dylan was talking about a lot, like he is the guy. because he'll come down and get it deep and move it up the pitch. And if he's not going to start games, then he has more impact doing so, just floating. I think it's more of an issue when he does start games, though.
It's kind of funny that that's a lot of the conversation in our comments and stuff, and the conversation that we have is Marco shouldn't start games, and like he's not effective when he's starting. He's more effective as a sub, as that super sub. And I think this is a little bit of a false narrative when it comes to this particular game. Like, look, he was brilliant and he absolutely changed this game. And he can be very productive as a super sub. He's already proven that this season. But I'd also make the argument he's just as important as a starter.
I think his role is just different. When he's
Yeah.
playing the whole game and he has to have legs throughout the game, like it's going to be a little more conservative. You're going to see him come get the ball deep and then have our runners build up the play.
Yeah.
In something like this, he's kind of in all phases. Just because it's a 15-minute cameo, he can do that. And I called him the puppet master a lot last year, the year before that. And that's just like what I see him as.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls the strings for all of our little puppets in midfield. And if the strings are attached, he'll be able to move them around. Yeah, that's just how I see him. That's our little puppet master.
Yeah, Andrew, how did you see Marco Reus in this game? And I'll pose the question of would you rather see him as a super sub off the bench or as a starter for this team?
Yeah, in terms of how I saw Marco Reus, I think he was the only thing there was to see for the LA Galaxy. Mila talked about it. As soon as he came in, it's a whole different look for the Galaxy. There's suddenly direction. When we were texting about the game, we used the word clarity, and that's what Marco Reus gives you. He does a little bit of what Ricky Puig does in that he has that kind of gravity. He attracts defenders. He attracts attention. He opens up options for players like Peck, for Paintsol, for Sanabria to connect to in the midfield. And that suddenly opens up so much for the Galaxy. That was missing in the first half. We did have players like, I would maybe say Paintsol more than Peck in the first 60 minutes, let's say. Sanabria having some moments, good moments from Glesnes, but difficult to pull things together. And when we talk about pulling things together, you think of a puppet master, and that's what Marco Reus is, to Milo's point. So just Marco Reus being fantastic in terms of his role. The way I see it, Marco Reus is good, period. He's going to make the Galaxy better, period. Obviously, the more he can play, the better, but you have to look at the reality of the situation. He's an aging player, but we also are only playing in one competition this year. We have one thing to focus in. Mila's point is definitely that when he has a cameo, it's only 15, 30 minutes. He can absolutely afford to go full throttle. I feel like he can do so a little bit more than if we were playing in Champions Cup or Leagues Cup or whatever other competition, Open Cup. We have one thing to worry about, one competition, one set of games a week. So it's good for Marco Reus, and that we're gonna get to see a lot more of him in the league, and that's what the Galaxy need to do. It's continue this playoff push. We look at the ticker beneath us, back in the playoff picture. Marco Reus is obviously going to be probably the decisive factor in that, but obviously the rest of the team needs to go ahead and do their little bit to get the rock over the hill, you could say. But yes, Marco Reus, super crucial, super important. I hope he can play a lot, but if he can obviously do what he can do in 30 minutes is enough to get us 3 points on the road in the place we haven't won, then again, maybe we can afford to keep him a little bit. But yeah, the more we get him, the better.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I just don't think we have enough talent currently for him not to start.
Definitely, yeah.
I think we're just at such a deficit. Like if Klaus was back, I think you can make the argument. But from us, it's like Kylo Ren in that scene where he's like, "You're still holding on." Greg Vanney is still holding on just a little bit to this possession style of football, and if he is to fully transition to us being a transition team where it's Glesnes putting the ball forward, Hack putting the ball forward, and we're springing counters just by being direct straight to Peck and Paintsol or even to our wingbacks, I can see it working without Royce. But it's Greg Vanney. And we're not.
I mean, especially without Klaus or
Yeah.
just a player that has a little bit more magnitude at the 9, can bring the ball down and help distribute when we do so. I think it's going to be super hard to even go fully into that style of play. And I think we talked about it, what was it, 2 episodes ago, last episode, about he is just the connector. right now he's the connecting piece. If we're gonna play bypass the midfield football, that's fine, but we have to be able to bring the ball down and get it to the
Right.
impact players when we do so. But right now with Paintsel at the 9, it's not going to be consistent if we do that. And then I just don't see it possible without Klaus.
No, we're dropping too deep for that to be the case. Like, if we were condensing the pitch and Paintsel was doing that, like, almost Brian and Bumo style of 9, where he's just being a body and you're winning all the second balls, I could see that working. But there was a big disconnect between Sanabria and then Cerrillo and Hack in this one. Like, there was a large distance, and that's fine. I don't mind us being a defensive style team, but you can't be one and the other. You have to be just one of those things. And we're still kind of tinkering there. I do have concerns that Vanny is going to look at those last 15 minutes, or he might just look at the last 15 minutes in general and go, I'm going to start Royce and Tommy in the midfield together. And that scares the shit out of me because that won't work. That just won't work. We're going back to a single pivot. Like, I think we've.
Well, if they have a double pivot behind them, it'll work. But then that means playing like a peck and paint at the striker positions, which isn't the worst thing in the world.
No.
Just
Now that
based
you don't
on
have
your
a striker, it's the time
yeah.
to do it.
I
or
don't
triple
mind
two could
that.
be the move. Just because
Yeah.
I do like the way Tommy and Royce play together. It's a small sample size, but it's
He also had an impact in that game, right?
offensively it's great. But
He's
you're
great.
right. If we need to fill in for the deficits on the defensive side if we're gonna do that. So if Vanny goes that direction, I'm not 100% against it. I just think you need to put everyone in the right positions for it to succeed, not go halfway, and expose us basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This back in the playoff picture with their goal difference being 0, I think it's 0 at least, just kind of
It
fits
is.
perfect for how I feel about this team. I genuinely feel like this is back to week 1, where all the questions that we had going into this season are now reoccurring. Like, I once again have arrived to the next transfer window. We need an attack-minded 8 that can play a role in the 10 so that Marco doesn't need to start every game, right? Or that you can make him that super sub. I also think that I'd like to see the 3 back again. But I'm also at the point where this team is transitional, and so long as we're going to be good defensively, I really don't care.
Right.
And this is actually where I want to talk about.
Right?
I want to talk about one defender in particular because he's come back and we're just a way better team because of it. And it's not rocket science. It really isn't. He's our best defender. He's one of the best defenders in the league, but Glesnes is an unreal defender at this level. Like, he's just, I'd make the argument he's far and away our best player. I think he's that good. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily like I don't really think it can be your team.
Yeah.
If you're a defender, just because that's not how I see the game. But he wore the armband until Royce came on, I believe. He's the anchor. It can be.
With the way we're going, the style of football that our coach is allegedly trying to play, why can't it be his team? And if we're trying to find a defensive identity and be the big bad guys instead of this, it's like a full 180 on the Vanny ball. But like I think if we keep going that direction, if we're successful, it can totally be his team because he is that impactful. And we're undefeated since he's gotten back. And some of that is luck on our end. Some of that is unlucky on our end. But you can tell just his presence on the pitch. Without even looking at his individual performance, I think you can look at Garces and look at his performances and see that the second that Glesnes came back in the team next to Garces's performance have gone back to what we were kind of expecting. I mean, we've always kind of known this. He can't be the main guy. And it's hard, I guess, for an older player to play with someone like him because they have a certain level of expectation for IQ and they have less physical abilities. So I think Glesnes being the middle is perfect. He can bring the best out of Garces by being just a phenomenal defender.
Yeah, it's got shades of 2024 Maya, where all of his, like you were saying, all of his strong suits just complement everything that Garces can bring you with a level of composure where Andrew, before I throw it off to you, every game now that he's been back, he's made one key block where I'm like, it's another goal if you're not there. And even honestly, if he wasn't playing, it's a goal. Because the key moments in matches, like he had 11 defensive contributions this one, so the stats matched up to the billing. But it's moments, especially for defenders. Like if you are on the right side of enough moments, your team will probably win. And with him back in it, we just are on the right side of all the moments currently. So Andrew, Glesnes, how are we feeling?
Yeah, I guess just to piggyback off of what you're saying, he's on the right moments. He creates the right moments on the defensive side of the ball, but also a lot on the attacking side of the ball. When both of you guys are talking about Glesnes, a lot of what I was thinking is he also gives you that long ball. We're thinking about this team potentially being a direct counter attacking over the top, Paintel Peck and Inshallah team. It's going to be 99% of the time off of the back of a Glesnes long ball, because he's not just one of the best players on our team at doing it, but probably one of the better players in the league. When we came in and we were looking at his initial numbers, looking at that FB ref comparison, he was really high in the top 99, 94th, 95th percentile in terms of long attacking passes, even assists. I'm pretty sure that's really massive in any player, but I mean, to get it from a defender on top of a defender who's already so fantastic, it's just cream on top. So it's really difficult to say enough good things about Glesnes and how important he is in this team. Like you mentioned, Dylan, definitely making a case for MVP, because unlike Marco Reus, we kind of expect Glesnes to be there every game. If he's healthy, he's available, we want him to play 90 minutes or as many as possible. If we're up 3-0, sure, get him off in the 60th. But until it's locked in, even if it's one goal, maybe even two up, we're level losing, he's on the pitch, I think. So, yeah, he's just so important. And he's the type of player who can match that need. And the Galaxy need a lot of that. We have it in the defender. We have it in Marco Reus. We have it in Klaus. Unfortunately, two of those three are unavailable. So we need to have more options on this team. Injuries aren't making things easier, but it's difficult for me to look at Greg particular. It's difficult for me to look at the players because it's not on any of them when the selection is what it is. Who do you look at in terms of selection? I think you're looking at Will Kuntz. You're looking at right now Robbie Ramaneni. He's just recently part of that recruiting team, but the options aren't there right now. We're looking at pieces who maybe aren't supposed to be those options, but you just gotta, when you follow the trail, I think that's where I end up. But that's, I guess, just an aside, a little bit of a sidetrack in my point with Glesnes is super good and super important.
Yeah, I saw some stuff online that some people were like, are we turning our head at Greg Vanney and are we back on board? My answer is no.
Not yet.
Greg Vanney did not look, he made the subs that he had to make in this game. Like anybody with the brain looked at us with 0 shots and went, you know what? We probably need to bring on Marco Reus and Eric Tommy. We have no shots. And I think this is part of the issue is we still don't have an identity. We still haven't figured that out. We're 12 games in to just the league season, and we don't have an identity. And if you're going to be a team that plays 3 center backs and 2 defensive-minded midfielders, along with John Nelson, look, man, you have to be a defensive-oriented team that's going to play on the counter. And we didn't do that for 60 minutes, and then we went back to not Vanny ball, but we went to something that was more transitional and got us moving quicker, and we had 6 big chances in 20 minutes. And honestly, a player that me and Mila have been super harsh on deserves a lot of credit in this one because he finally stepped up, and that's Gabriel Peck. He made that second one close. I think that me and Andrew both texted something along the lines of, I was ready to type something very angry, but then I didn't. And that's
Right.
important. That's important because he did end up bearing the chance after it was all said and done. The only thing that makes me angry is that Marco Reus didn't get an assist, and he deserved an assist. But Mila, Gabriel Peck's performance gave me shades of 2024 in the last 20 minutes. Did you kind of get that vibe too?
Yeah, yeah. There's been moments this season that
There
we're
has
like, oh, there it is. Doesn't really help anyone. That's why we're at 0 right now.
Yeah.
So I again like him and Paint doing this every now and then, not good. They need to do it consistently. So I'm very happy for him that he got the 2 goals, the 3 points for the team. Maybe just some confidence, some shooting boots. But I need to see it in the next coming games. We cannot be dropping points against SKC. And he's going to be one of the main options, especially with Paint at the 9, out of position. Like Gabriel Peck should be the main goal scorer in this unfortunate situation we're in with no striker. So yeah, I think he took the first one really well. That touch to, I mean, the ball was great, but the touch to just bring it forward in stride, I thought was really, really great. And he deserves a lot of credit for that, and just bearing that, getting it to 1-1. The second one, like you guys were saying,
Yeah.
Very high cortisol goal.
like I don't know. And to your point earlier, like not just to get on Peck, but Paintsill could have put this game away.
We had 6 big chances. We
A
missed
couple of
4.
times.
Dylan, we say this every fucking time we record.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh, blah blah could have put the game away. It's usually a P in their name. So this is why I can't get too high on any of this, is because we know they're talented. No one here has come and said that these are trash players. It's been a consistency thing. It's been mentality. It's I'm just gonna go over Dylan's 5 things at this point.
Mentality, tempo,
Um,
Gabriel Peck, Royce,
yeah,
and I can't remember my last one. That's
yeah.
where my
But
brain's at. Spaghetti.
basically, like that's what has been missing. To score 2 goals late in a game, that shows mentality. That shows determination. I mean, after the first one, he totally could have got it, like just given up and not gone after it. And with a little luck, it fell back to him and he put it away. So I think I'm exactly like we are in the table and our goal difference. I'm right at 0, a net negative, not negative, net 0.
No,
I'm not too up or down on the squad. I'm not too up or down on Gabriel Peck right now. I think the same goes for Paintsill. As long as they do what they need to do in the next game specifically, because we talked about it. Atlanta should have been a win. This next one should be a win, and then I think we can get a better gauge of where we are in terms of just in the league, and that we can just take care of business when needed. Because, like we've talked about, if we can get to the transfer window, all these like this conversation could be flipped on its head. All these holes could be covered. I'm not necessarily saying that they will be, but they can be.
Yeah.
So just get us there, and yeah, keep working hard. That's all I
Yeah.
can ask for.
Well said.
Agreed. Andrew, your mom's favorite player is Gabriel Peck, so I assume that she had a very good night watching Pecky finally get a couple on the board and get a critical 3 points for the Galaxy. So, how are you feeling him on Mr. Gabriel Peck?
I think similarly to Mila, I'm definitely happy that he scored. Twice. I'm happy to see my mom happy on Mother's Day. That's a good thing. Shout out Peck for that. But it's you also have to look at the previous 70 minutes before the goal. There's not a lot there. I think there's a couple of criticisms with Peck. One of them being finishing. He kind of sorted that out today or on Sunday. But the other thing being the ability to generate a chance and not need to be carried by a player like Ricky Puig, for example, or a player like Marco Reus in this case. Obviously, I think there's no arguing that Marco Reus wasn't the difference in that game. So it's difficult for me to praise Peck so much when a lot of that credit comes with a little bit of an asterisk being Marco Reus. I would feel a little bit different if, again, those previous 70 minutes, we did see maybe a little bit more from Peck Paintel. There was, I think, some chances, but I mean, in general, we talked about it. One of the messages I sent in the chat, it was like a battle of mid. It wasn't great viewing. It was, and unfortunately, Peck was a little bit a part of that, not necessarily contributing to make it maybe a better watch, let's say. But again, so that's kind of the big issue for me with Peck. He needs to kind of carry that load on his own, especially when Royce isn't on the pitch, because it's a big yoke, I think, to place on Royce, even if he is only playing 30 minutes every night. But hey, come create 2 goals in 30 minutes. It's not realistic to do it for the remaining 20 or odd games that are left. So good to see the finishing, but we need to see more of the finishing, and we need to see more of, I think, just the chance generation. I want to see him be that wrecking ball, that kind of unbalancer. See him make those things have that kind of impact that Marco Reus is having. I don't mind if he doesn't score or assist, if he's making a good run and like putting a ball in and it bounces in the box or getting some hockey assist. Things that don't show up on a stat sheet. We talked about the eye test. That's what Marco Reus is giving us. If he's even giving me something, he's just not necessarily giving me too much when he has to be that guy. So I want to see him give us a lot more when it's just him on the pitch. But yeah, there's more to be nice to see, but more to see still.
Yeah. No, I agree. And the reason that this gave me flashes of 2024 was just his positioning in those last 20-ish minutes and how high he was up the pitch. I've been so tired, and me and Mila went into kind of extensive discussion about it last week, but he was playing wingback. That's not what we bought Gabriel Peck for. That's not what he's getting paid for. He's not a designated wingback. That's what Cuevas is there for. Like, and this is part of the gripe with Greg Vanney. And honestly, the biggest pushback that we've had with Gabriel Peck has been, well, Greg Vanney is just using him wrong. And I don't disagree. I still expect more, and I want to see more. But you can see when he's utilized in a position that suits him better, he's going to produce a lot more. And it's not a coincidence that he had 0 shots in the first half. He didn't have a shot until the 56th minute, and it was blocked outside the box. And then from there on, he had 5 other shots. I will much rather, and I will get very angry at him being wasteful. I'd much rather see him get 6 shots off in a game than see him have no shots. Because that tells you that we're not in the match. If he's not having a shot, he's not having a go. Look, he's our ceiling raiser. If we don't have him going, we don't have him ticking, there's no point. I do believe that. And I'm happy that I finally got to do a happy Gabriel Peck 5 things. But what's more important, and honestly more important for this entire Galaxy season, we sit at 4-4-4 with a 0 goal difference. We play the worst team in the league, and we've already lost to them. Him, Paintsel, and I assume Roy Starts all need to be on 10 toes Wednesday, and we need to pick up 3 points. And I think that's a perfect little transition into our a little road trip. So
well done.
Let's go ahead and do that. Alrighty, well, while I look up the main dish of Kansas City, I need someone to kind of take us into a preview of what this will look like, and then we can do like we might as well do a predicted 11 since we got some time. But yeah. Do you, Mila or Andrew, do one of you want to take us away with Kansas City?
I have some fun facts, not about the city, but about the last fixture. We didn't play with Glesnes. It was a Hack Yoshida pairing. So that automatically fills me with way more confidence going into this match. Glesnes is back. What else about this fixture usually happens? Joveljic usually scores in this fixture. So what is more powerful is this is my headline for the game is Glesnes or Joveljic, because that's probably what it's going to come down to. We should be able to score against the worst team in the league, especially with Royce playing. It really comes down to, can we stop them from scoring? as of late, that has not been our greatest attribute as a squad, is clean sheets. I think JT did a really good job keeping us in the game against Atlanta and just generally lately. And like we talked about, Glesnes has been fantastic. But we need to be hard-headed and just make sure that he does not get that goal, because he likes to get that goal against us as a big – it's almost like a big hug, but he's just soaking wet when he gives us the hug.
I think he scores just so he can do the heart celebration at us. Like, you can do it pregame, dude. You don't have to score.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always out to prove a point. We had the decision to keep Ricky on the roster and not give him that DP spot. And I think that he always has a point to prove against us. That was always his thing. He always wanted to be the guy for the Galaxy, and he was first season. And he helped us win a ring. And I have a bunch of admiration and respect for him. I think that he's one of the best nines in the league. It sucks that he's playing for the worst team potentially ever. Kansas City is just in a really tough spot. I think they have one win on the season.
Kansas too. Tough
Yeah,
spot.
Kansas too. Yikes. They have no pull. They had one of the best coaches the league's ever seen. He couldn't even get it right at the very end. They got rid of him. They've just been in turmoil. The goal numbers over the last few games, does anybody have those for them?
For them, I can
Yes.
pull them up. Yeah, I got you. Hold on.
While you're pulling it up, I think their main dish is called burnt ends. It's a barbecue dish. It's,
Yum.
I believe, some form of beef,
All right.
but it's burnt at the ends, hence the name burnt ends.
In their last 4 MLS matches, they have conceded 16 goals.
Wow. They just got pumped, what, 5-0?
Sorry, 15. 15 goals. But yeah, they got 6-0.
6-0 Portland.
Saw a little bit of light against Sounders with a 1-1, and then they had a 5-0 loss to the Chicago Fire.
Wow.
They have scored 5 goals. They
Yes.
have 1 win. Those 2 goals and 1 win come from us. So this season, outside of playing the LA Galaxy, they have 3 goals scored. They've conceded 31 fucking goals, and they have no wins in 10
They
matches.
also, Joveljic is also the only player on their roster to have more than 1 goal. So
Fucking
even more
Christ.
so that we just need to shut him down, not solely, but that needs to be a big part of the game plan, is how to minimize his impact on the game, because he really is their only outlet.
Yep.
If you want to look at their assist numbers, they don't have a creative bone in that team. Most of their guys are on like 1 assist each, and it does not get any higher than that. So just purely based off looking at the stats for the season, shut down Jov, and we should be good. This team is abysmal.
Yeah, this team is abysmal. And this season's been missed opportunities, is what it felt like. It's just through the early portions. Having a chance to, I think it'll be our first time winning back-to-back matches this season, obviously in the league, but I think in general it'll be back-to-back matches. You have to get that off our back. It's one of the things that has plagued Greg Vanney through his entire tenure as the Galaxy coach, is we just don't win back-to-back games. We'll get a win and a draw and a loss, or a win, a draw, and a win. Stack them. We talked about it. This should be a 6-point swing. Atlanta is not a good team. We beat them. It took a little bit, but we beat them. Kansas City are the worst team in the league. They will be the wooden spoon winners. We have to pick up 3 points. And if we don't, then Greg Vanney should not be on the plane to Seattle. Because we've been talking about it. 4-4-4, 0 goal difference. A chance to finally go above that like Mendoza line of 500, but get on the right side of the winning column. Go into Seattle on 2 games in a row, or if you want to chalk it down to 3 good performances in a row.
Or undefeated at that point
4
would be
undefeated.
the headline
Right.
for me, is that like we're
Is it
building
maybe
confidence.
3-4?
That's
3
stacking
wins?
right there, right?
Yeah. And look, the Galaxy haven't been that good this season. So if you can go into a game against Seattle, who, to your point, just dropped points to this Kansas City side, and you go into Seattle and then it's 4 wins and 5, and then you come back home, That's called turning a corner. That's called turning the page. But if you trip up here, you trip up against the worst side in the league, we're right back to square one.
It's going to definitely cut into our confidence if we drop points in this game. It has to be a win.
It has to be a win
for me. Yeah,
I agree. It's weird. I know that Corner of the Galaxy and a lot of people don't like to make there's no such thing as a must-win game until there is statistically. This is a must-win game. This is a must-win game. You have to go ahead and win it. Andrew, any closing remarks on SKC while I get up the combined or the predicted 11?
I feel like a lot of what I want to say is part of that 11. It's going to be what are the Galaxy going to look like. Okay. Yeah, so I think maybe we could just go ahead and transition. You guys did a good job.
Thanks, man. Give me 1 second while I get this up. But
I think in the meantime, something that's like a big question, one of the big exigencies, something that I want to answer with this lineup, obviously the big one being how do you stop Dejan Joveljic, but how do you get our guys some goals? We talked about, everybody mentioned the concern with Gabriel Peck, and I think especially Paintsel because he's been very poor, but in terms of finishing, consistency, form, whether or not Reus is there, what kind of system are we going to do that? So, yeah, are we ready to talk about it?
Yeah, we are. That's a really good point because in the NBA, they have tune-up games where you play like a bottom feeder team and then your team goes out there and just beats the shit out of them. This should be that style of game. Now, I'm not saying that we should go in there and not take them seriously, but we should take them very seriously and then we should go beat the brakes off them. The other side of this coin for Kansas City is when you get pumped 6-0, you have to have a response. So, like, you see it all the time.
5-0. Yeah, I guess.
well, like think about it. When we lost to New York 7-0 last year, we immediately came back against Philly, who were the best team in the league at the time, and put in a 2-1, or we lost 2-1 or something like that. I can't remember. We dropped points, but we took points off them. So they're going to be looking to do the same thing. So I think with that in mind, you have to take them seriously, and this lineup should be a very similar thing.
Seriously.
Let's not even mess around with some of this stuff. Why is he not showing up?
Marcinkowski.
I don't know how to spell that shit.
Marc.
Why? Okay,
his name is with a JT. It's like James Thomas. If you put in just Marcinkowski, it might show up.
Okay, Marcin.
I think there's a K after. And then like cow, Kow.
I'm not spelling that right. I also can barely see it. For anyone that doesn't know my setup, I have like a very small screen over here, and I can't see anything. So, Marcin. What, dude? I'm butchering it. Give me a second while I figure this out because I can just look up their lineup. I don't know why.
I got it. MAR. It's Mark with a C.
Marcinkowski.
In Kowski. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
James.
I thought I must just James on lineup builder. It's
we were right.
Okay. Whatever. This is also a non-starter.
I think Lesnes and
Garces, right?
Yeah. Or
Jacob.
We don't have any other left backs outside of Nelson.
And then he doesn't play Yamane with Nelson, so
yeah,
it pretty much builds itself.
Nope.
CUE.
Dang it. There we go. Okay. The question for me is your midfield 3 didn't work against Atlanta, but do you run it back?
No, it's gonna be so freaking shit in the midfield if we do that. They play basically like 2 DMs and Manu Garcia, who's not that great.
So are you sitting Sanabria, or are you only starting one of Hack and Surreal?
Andrew,
I
do the latter.
You're sitting one of Hack or
Surreal. I probably put Sanabria, Surreal, Reus.
I think so too. I think this is one of the games where we do need a little physicality in terms of Sanabria being in there and just the legs, especially if Reus is going to play, but also just being able to move the ball through the midfield with
He can get a
Surreal
pass
and
off.
Royce. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty important.
Mhm.
Okay. So we'll go Royce.
Well, you do that. I like the way you said that we need to take this game seriously. I think that's a serious midfield. It's just you played the best.
Yeah, I don't want that scenario performance wasn't good, but I mentioned him. I think maybe in our
He
text
was
story.
playing
because
as a 10, though, right?
Yeah, he was playing as a 10, but he also was the only person looking to set any tempo, and it just wasn't coming off.
Yeah,
But that's
Exactly.
also
Well,
not-
but
that's
that's
not-
also it's harder to do what he's good at a higher up position on the field
with
because
better
again,
players too.
like he's a wrecking ball, so he needs time to swing from side to side. He can't just gain that momentum halfway. I think the ground covering is the best part about him. So we need him at the 8.
I don't disagree. The only thing that I would be willing to try out here is to move Paintsel back to left wing.
And Royce up top.
And then you're
I
playing the
wouldn't hate
same midfield 3, but instead of
Mhm.
being a team that's dropping first, Kansas City's awful. You be on the front foot and you press them super high up the field with Sanabria pushing up with Royce.
Should just be playing a diamond.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty. I mean,
It's
it's kind of
basically
exactly what
right?
it is.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But I think that for the sake of consistency, and I've been saying I'd rather see consistency over trying something new, they probably should keep it consistent with this stuff. But I guess the only question is, who do you start at left wing? Are you going with Miller again, or are you going to put Tommy in? It's a tough
Tucker
call.
Lepley.
Yeah. Fucking scoring goals at Oakland Stadium.
Golazos too. And I was thinking, I was so frustrated about that. I hate to like take a non sequitur, like that's not what we're talking about. But that's what he does. He would take those shots. They wouldn't always come off. They wouldn't always be super close. Sometimes they were. Sometimes they forced a save. But he loved just being in space and taking a shot, or running, or making a pass. We talk about Gabriel Peck a little bit earlier, and him not necessarily scoring or assisting, but doing these good second actions, hockey assists, whatever it is. That's something that Tucker gave. And when you're low on options, it's if you're looking at someone to at least go out there and run, have someone who's going to go out there and run and do the right things. And it's working out for him in the USL. Definitely a different level, but to take that shot from that distance and bury it in the net like he did, that's class at any level, you know? So it's just very frustrating. Back to the topic at hand.
No, because I think it plays into this. What's irritating about that the most to me is we are playing a fullback at left wing when you have a guy that is absolutely capable of doing this
super
job.
young kid too. Tucker Lepley's been ready. We've invested so much in forming him for 20-something years to let him go right when he's ripe. I hate to use that word, but
no, it's fair. I really like Tucker Lepley's game, and I thought that he was going to really produce this season. I thought he was going to play some minutes. We got no minutes. We played in 2 competitions. Then we waited. We waited around, pussyfooted the whole situation, and then we sent him to Oakland Roots.
He must have bullied Vandy's kids or something.
Well, like at least at this point, like why aren't we bringing up like we are at a offensive deficit every single game right now, and we're not being. This is a Vandy and Will power duo situation for me where I get frustrated. I'm not going to get into it.
I don't get shipping off Lepley, bringing this Troy Ogersma guy in, and haven't seen much of him.
He played more than Lepley.
No, I understand that. We haven't seen much. He played 1 minute in.
Look, I'm not taking anything against the kid. We know nothing.
No,
we have no idea what he is.
I know but that's the
Yeah.
point. Like if you're gonna get rid of someone like Lepley and promote this guy to the first team, at least give us a glimpse of what he's gonna offer. Like what was the point of shipping off Lepley? Or was it just that Vandy couldn't find a way to get him in the team and we were stalling his development? So that's why we loaned him out.
Could be. I mean, look, I think he's a right winger by trade. And we have been very against doing anything other than playing Gabriel Peck for 90 minutes, right? Whether that's moving Peck to the left to put him in or anything. We just have been against that. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's as simple as he wasn't going to get minutes. There's no point in stunning his development. Let's get him real game time because he hasn't had that since being a part of the first team.
Yeah, it could very well be he asked for it. I'm not playing. I want to go play.
Yeah. You know what? That's probably the more likely of anything that we've said here. And honestly, he deserves it. And that goal was great. I'm happy for him because he deserves to shine in a team where he's going to be the guy.
Immediately he shone.
That being said, though,
we have a left.
Tommy or Miller.
Yeah.
I think I've liked Tommy. He had the goal a couple of weeks ago, contribution in that game. He's looked faster than he did. Right. You think that might contribute, that kind of comeback back in the city, get some whistles, light a little fire under him. But I think he's proven a little bit more. But again, anything is going to be greater than not much. I mean, again, he was looking so at the start of that season. That was very interesting. I was not expecting it. And all the talk was about how fit he is, how seriously he takes care of himself, all of this. So I was very surprised to see, a little bit of a chug along. But he's definitely looking sharper now, starting to contribute. So I'm not against, I think, either. I think in for rotation, and it kind of makes sense, maybe a little bit of a homecoming, probably put Tommy. I think for us, I want to say Tommy. Greg might think about it a little bit more. I think for me, it's just fun. But there's little, I think, to push me either way, besides the fact that Harbor has played a lot already. So maybe rotation. We got another game coming up, Seattle. So I think there's the only difference there.
I'll throw another hat into the ring. Is this a chance for Ruben Ramos to get another start?
Could be, but I'd be worried about that because we talked about we need a serious lineup. We need a must win. I felt like the last time we started Ruben Ramos, it was a similar situation on the road, and he struggled. He never really got into it.
Columbus beat us.
I don't know about throwing him back into the deep end again. I think he can contribute in the second half of that game. But if we have two other options, I want to go with the other two first, I think.
But Ruben Ramos got a goal and an assist against Sporting Kansas 2 5 days ago.
I think there's some sink or swim to it, and I'm going to advocate for Tommy off the bench for the simple fact that we have no other options. If we do end up going down and we need a spark.
We need it, yeah.
And
I can see that.
So for me, I'd be okay with Miller starting another game. Maybe he builds some confidence here and he gets a goal. Or giving Ruben Ramos one more shot at it. Or this new kid. To Mila's point, let's see the new guy.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Look,
what's interesting about him, too, is that he, when you look at his foot mob, it says left midfielder.
Nothing else, right?
No, I haven't seen that in years. No, not left wing back, not left back, not left wing, but left midfielder.
Everybody's a centerman nowadays.
I just, if he plays a classic role like that, that's kind of what we've been crying out for. If Paint's not in that position, it's just someone that can offer legs and
be in the midfield
and let an overlap come. Or it allows, I don't even know. But I would like to see him. He's played 1 minute. They promoted him for whatever reason. I'd like to see why.
His name's Troy.
Right? Troy El Garisma.
Okay. I was gonna say the one thing that I did notice when he did come onto the pitch is he's fucking huge. Kid's a unit.
Profile.
He's a fucking.
I don't have his
unit.
height.
I think either he's really tall or Joseph Paints was really short.
He's 6'3".
Okay, he's fucking unit. Hey, for the shits and giggles, I think we should start him.
If we're gonna try to play a little more direct, then yeah, start him and let him win some freaking headers and
bully defenders.
So Troy, spell his last name for me. I don't know if he's gonna be in here.
El Garisma, Elgeer.
Oh, he is. Hell yeah. Yep.
Bang. Well, I'm looking at him so he should be available.
Look, if that was the goal, was to bring in a player and you were going to let Lepley go out, and he's already proven to Greg that he can play at least at some level because he played in a game where we won, right? He played in RSL against RSL at home.
He played his only minutes.
Yeah, it was at RSL
against Vancouver.
Okay, so even more of a stomping ground here for you got his feet wet against the best team in the league.
60 seconds.
No, wait. He came on and then there was stoppage time.
Okay, that's why.
He came on after the goal. He was pretty good. He won a couple of aerial duels, I think, and he played pretty well for 6 minutes or whatever it was. And I'm saying let's give him a start. That's how delusional we are on this podcast, as we're chucking fresh to it. I mean, look, if there was a game to do it, yeah, it's more likely to
if
be.
Miller was like offering anything, then we'd have an argument to say he deserves to continue playing. But it's really not. Doesn't move the needle. It's not bad.
No.
It's like just not there yet.
No,
I
well,
think we've talked about it before. The vision is there, but the execution isn't.
he's a fullback.
Yeah, which is
Playing
fine.
wing.
Yeah, that's already difficult.
Another
But
Harper Miller
That's
situation.
really where it comes down to, because as a full,
I just
like,
don't think. Yeah, maybe it's the IQ
We're
of
a
that.
fullback
that's what
factory,
I'm
by the
thinking.
way.
What?
We're a fullback factory. Sorry to jump in, but we have so many fullbacks. That's another Harper Miller situation. Fullback turned winger.
No, dude, when we're gonna have conversations pretty soon here as the World Cup break comes. Like, I'm pretty close to saying, like, if we're gonna be going with this Nelson and Cuevas back four, like, I think Harper Miller should just go back to being a fullback, a right back, and we should probably move off Yamane. Like, we'll have those conversations later, but I don't enjoy
they're
Harper
not gonna
Miller's
play him.
minutes. Like,
His
if
value is gonna go
he
up.
could be the utility thing, Yamane's making a good amount of money. If you can potentially move off him and bring in a player for that level of money, that's where you can get creative, right? If we're talking about a Casemiro,
Right.
that's how you make that TAM money available, is you move off that. And now I don't think that it doesn't sound. I know we're front runners, but it doesn't really feel like there's any.
It's early.
gravitas to that. I don't know.
I feel like that's gonna be a World Cup situation. After the World Cup, we'll see. Like right now, he's gonna lock in. And
I
then
think
it's gonna
that
move quickly after the World Cup.
I've
There's
got a
gonna
feeling
be
the Casemiro
conversations
will
in the
go.
USA.
Do you think he
Whoever
wants to go to
Brazil is
Inter
playing.
Miami?
You think?
I think
Sure,
that's
the
where-
money is gonna sound good. The sponsorships and stuff.
It's not. He's
I-
not some Barca sexual though. You have to remember this.
No, but the reporting is that he's open to the idea of playing with Messi, and that's not a bad
That'd
bargaining
be
chip for us to-
very, very wrong for his Brazilian Real Madrid heritage.
It could be, but hey, this will be his last World Cup, so it might not matter.
Jesus.
It might not matter.
Hopefully they don't make it far if we get him.
I don't know, but it doesn't
Right.
matter.
That's
Because-
funny. They get grouped. He can rest.
True. Actually, I forgot. We got to do predickies, and then we'll get on out of here. So,
Okay.
I wanted to shout
Very
out to
interesting.
Brandon. He got a predickie in the last game. He picked a 2-1, but he picked JP. So not a super
Is that
predickie.
his second predickie?
He's on fire. It might be his third. But he's
Logical
still.
thinker.
We're waiting for a super predickie from him. Whoever gets the first super predickie gets a super spotlight on the show, just like the next show will be our.
I should have had it.
You should have had it. I'm sorry.
It should have
I'm
been
sorry.
mine.
I'm sorry. Talked you out of it by insulting you by calling you one of our other co-hosts. Well, yeah, let's predict this so that we get our super predickies right.
I think I'm gonna steal everybody's. I want to see a 2-1 Galaxy. The one we all know. I think is what we're all gonna say. It's Dejan Joveljic, and then hopefully we get. I don't care if it's one of each, or two from one player, but we're gonna need two if that's the case. And two, I think it's always a good insurance for the LA Galaxy. Maybe with Glesnes, I see this potentially. Maybe a 1-0 gets it done, but it's tough to bet again for this Galaxy team keeping a clean sheet. But it's also tough to bet for this Galaxy not scoring at least one, We have that 21 game goal scoring streak. That's the longest in the league right now. I saw Josh Gesson post that was late last night, yesterday, or early today. But that's a very shocking stat. You would not associate the LA Galaxy with a goal scoring streak, looking at the results at least. So we can at least keep it up. I think I'm putting on the road. Again, at the end of the day, it's not the worst thing in the world, but you win this game. This is that must win. So my prediction sticks with that 2-1. But yeah.
Mila? Oh, wait, sorry. What was your man of the match?
My man of the match, it's going to be Jakob Glesnes. I want to see him, maybe not necessarily man marking Joveljic, but I want to see Joveljic out of the game. I don't want to notice him. I don't want the commentators to mention him. I want to hear that cliche in the 60th minute. We haven't seen a lot of day on Joveljic. He needs to get into the game. I want to hear that at some point.
Yeah.
And if we do, it's because Jakob Glesnes is more than doing his job. And I think it's maybe a safe bet for man of the match because out of our roster, I think he's the safest bet to have a solid performance and really do his job. So he's going to be my MOTM.
Love it. Mila?
I'm gonna manifest something. 3-0.
Whoa.
Marco Reus. Revenge for the last game. A little more confidence going into it. I think we need to show them. We need to bring the hurt. They're hurting right now. Like we talked about, they've conceded 15 goals in the last 4 games. Don't let us beat Seattle. Don't let us be their little glimpse of hope after getting destroyed. I want to continue that onslaught, and for us, like I think a 3-0 win will really just strengthen the squad mentally. 3 goals and not conceding one. To me, that would be perfect. It would mean 4 out of our last 5 are wins or undefeated, and we just keep looking stronger and stronger since Glesnes is back. I think that's the scoreline I'm hoping for, and the scoreline I'm trying to put out in the world.
I like it. I think that we're going to see a really nasty low block, unfortunately. So who was your man of the match? It was Reus?
Reus.
Okay. I have to write that down so that I don't forget it. I'm in a similar thought process, though. My favorite win in football is the 2-0. So I'm going to predict a 2-0 because similar to Mila's response here, I think that would be a pretty strong indictment on where this team is at. If we were really going to turn the page, winning 2-0 away from home is difficult. Us winning in Kansas City has been difficult. They suck, though. I think they're going to play a nasty, dirty, disgusting low block. We're going to have to beat it. And I think we beat it once, and then they try to hit us on the counter late or something, and we make it 2-0. And with that in mind, I'm going to go with the most wasteful player that we didn't really talk about very much, which was JP. I'm hoping that he bounces back and he gets the man of the match in this one because I'd like a game where they both play well together in harmony.
Imagine both of your DPs performing at once.
No. It's just one game in one game. We don't get it at the same time.
Just watch the other player every time one of them gets the ball. That's all I ask.
Easy. It's crazy.
Just watch. If Peck gets the ball, look at what Painsel's body language says, and when Painsel gets the ball, look at what Peck says.
They're a pretty funny duo, but we need
not a duo. Not dynamic.
Not dynamic. They are a duo, just not dynamic. Not like it was in 2020.
A Titanic duo.
Ooh. They're killer peas, but they're killing each other.
Yeah,
the killer peas.
It's like brothers. They're really like brothers. They're like fucking.
Yeah, but they need to get that age where it's like, you're
cool. You're cool. You start sharing stories, and then it gets really good. Yeah. Good vibes for this one. Not turning the page quite yet, but getting there. Needed all 3 points.
We're peeking at the page.
I didn't put it up in the beginning because I'm a stupid loser, but there's the link tree in the top there. So go ahead and follow us. You guys are both pointing in the wrong direction. It's okay.
Oh, we are?
There you go. Everything's flipped on my screen, so everyone was pointing in the wrong direction, but it's that way for me.
Yeah, it's right here.
On my screen, you're still pointing in the wrong spot, but it doesn't matter because that's where, even if it's not there, you should point. Yeah, exactly. It's here. Get to the link tree, get involved in the conversation. Either all of our social medias are here on the YouTube channel, where I can officially announce it now because we did just break it. So congratulations to us. 500 subscribers.
Wait. Don't end it.
I'm not doing anything yet. I know what you're gonna say or do. I'll wait.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. How could you know what I'm gonna do? We don't have any.
Yeah, 500 really awesome to connect with everybody. It's a cool accomplishment. I'll save the whole long speech for the next episode, which we will be doing live. That's the big announcement. It'll be a live episode on Thursday. And I think moving forward, we're going to be starting to do those live pods like everybody else does. You guys can get in the conversation. Once we pencil down when those will be, we'll let you know. But be ready for Thursday because it should be a good one. Mila, do you want to plug the other pod and then we'll get on out of here?
Clash of Clubs. If you like hearing talks about the referees every freaking week, check us out. We basically just had a doom sesh with the PGMOL and the current fixtures, or the last weekend's fixtures, and there's still a couple hate watches to be had. We're gonna talk about the FA Cup final that's coming up, so yeah, tune in for those. It should be a good little bit of fun.
Thanks, Ray. Andrew, I know that you gave the idea to us that we're going to be bringing back the seminars. So go ahead and plug your channel. If you aren't subscribed to Andrew, he's going to be collaborated on this video. So please go ahead and do that. But also tell us where they can find your written work and all that other fun stuff. I know there's some announcements on the horizon there. So
yeah, definitely. For now, I think we're turning our attentions to the videos, like you mentioned, Dylan. The seminar is coming back. We haven't really had a lot to say. The Galaxy, the narrative has kind of been the same for a little bit, but obviously with wins and different results comes a different narrative. And we've got a new series planned out. We got 5 videos, basically topics at least, that are going to be coming to you guys over the next couple of weeks over on the NGF YouTube channel, as you see through there. You can still, as always, follow us on the Twitter. NGF should be Andrew as well. Nuestra Galaxia Futbolera on Twitter. And you can definitely find the catalog on Los Angeles Sports Nation. But for now, I would at least recommend that you go to Instagram, check out BZ Films. Great little network there. Tons of sports coverage, but especially lots of really, really high quality Galaxy footage and coverage as well. So maybe teasing a bigger announcement in the future. But for now, it'll be on NGF Andrew and obviously here on the C.O.C network.
damn straight, gents. Congratulations to us. And thank you guys for 500 subscribers. Very cool accomplishment. We will continue to put out daily content like this video every single day. So get involved in the conversation. But from myself, Mila, and Mr. NGF Andrew, we have been Clash of Cosmos. This has been episode 47, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Ballet, I'm the champion. They're going to go alone. Still back. What a goal. It's 6. They just cannot stop scoring. The volley from Funnel. Yes! San Jose carved open with a world-class pass from Ricky Pooch. Glittering Galaxy, and Landon Donovan is the match winner.